Welcome, everyone, to our Tap into Gratitude retreat. It is Strong with Nature Yoga's first virtual retreat for yoga and wellness. I'm really excited for all of you to be here. I'm Victoria Sharp, and I am the founder of Strong with Nature Yoga. So the first thing I want to do is just extend my gratitude to whoever this video may find and might be out there. So if you are watching live, I'd love to hear in the comments who's here, where you are watching from, and even if you join for the replay, feel free to comment along. I do have my journal here to help take us along on the journey and to share a little bit about my experiences. So gratitude has been a part of my life now for quite a few years, but it wasn't always. And it was a practice that I started because I was searching for more happiness and joy in my life. I wanted to feel better about myself, and I wanted to be able to express and share that with the world. Whether it be people that I come into contact in person in day-to-day life, or people that I could come into contact wherever I may be, whether I'm traveling or through social media, whatever it is. And so when my gratitude practice started, it definitely was a struggle. And I think that for many of us, when we do start a new practice, it's challenging, right? So we need to take the time to really work on it and make it more about us. So I wanted to grab my own personal journal for a few reasons, so that I can just even come back and share with you some of the things that I have gone through when it comes to gratitude and a gratitude practice, as well as tonight is all about setting some intentions. Because the weekend is just beginning. All of these fun events that you can take place in now with this whole virtual world, it's so exciting because you can just take this journey on with you. So the first thing that I want to just bring, I got to look at my notes here, is I found funny, I was looking back in my journal, and I think this is my second or third book that I've actually started as a gratitude journal. And at the front of it, I have this little printed list of all of these little things that I used to give myself as reminders to help me be grateful when I was really struggling. And I even have little check marks that go on along them. So I knew that I was writing down all of these little things, because when it comes to starting a gratitude practice, there's so many different things that we can do to help us. And maybe you already have things in your daily life that you're doing to help create gratitude. And so I just thought that this was funny. Number one was to write down the smell that you are grateful for. So finding these little things in our day. Number two was write down what technology you are grateful for. And it was this whole list. So my journey has definitely gone along, or come a long ways, but it ebbs and flows. And as I was just even flipping through the pages, I noticed there's days that there's nothing. I noticed that there's days that there's lots, just so much. So as we go and we dive into this weekend, I want you to know that this is not a perfect practice, nor does it need to be, but it's just about creating intentions. And that's why we're here tonight, is we are going to maybe set some intentions for the weekend, maybe for even tonight, or for your future. So if you do have a journal, feel free to write down anything that you like to help you along. But the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to rate how you're feeling right now. Number one would be maybe like tired, scattered, really unmotivated. And all the way to 10 would be really feeling clear. You feel like you're on a good visual path, and you're really peaceful. So write that down, or if you don't have anything to write it down, think about what that number would be. And I want you to remind yourself at the end of the weekend to reflect on that number and see if hopefully we can, move it on the scale. The next thing I want us to do is I want us to take a moment just to clear our minds, because as we set an intention, a little quote that I have written down here is, intention is more than wishful thinking. It's willful direction. It is a philosophy of the heart put into practice, a consistency of conscious patterns of thought, energy and action. And I actually wrote that on April 1st of this year. So definitely intention is something that I've been thinking about for a while. So as we get ready to set our intentions for the evening and for the weekend, I want you to clear your mind of the week. So close your eyes down. If it's hard to close those eyes down, just take that deep breath. A few conscious, full breaths to allow yourself to arrive here in this place, in this present moment. Good. When you're ready to move on, you can keep your eyes closed if you want. I want us to think about how when we don't take the time to be in the present moment, we don't really allow ourselves to be who we are. So we allow whatever's happening around us to really just dictate how we are feeling. And so when you take that time just to tune in, take those breaths, find out what you're feeling like, then you are then taking yourself and making yourself whole. So when we don't take that time and we allow all these distractions, all the things that happen to everyone, they do, I know. We allow these things to be that weight on our shoulders. They become the stressors, they become our anxiety. And so we have to force ourselves, if that's what it takes, we have to dedicate ourselves first to becoming present. I'm not saying that that's easy. I know that at lots of times you think you just don't have time. Taking those 30 seconds can really change the world. And it might not happen just like that in that split moment, but over time, you'll really learn how to draw in the present moment. And when you can draw in the present moment, then that's when we can start changing the way we are viewing our thoughts, our emotions, and our feelings, because we are not our thoughts, emotions, and feelings. And it's not our thoughts and emotions and feelings that hurt us. It's how we respond to those thoughts, emotions, and feelings. And so if we don't take the moment to be present right at that second, then we allow all the other things to take over. And then that's when we're spinning on the hamster wheel, or we start worrying and we can't just let go. And when we can take that moment, that's when we can tap inside and we can start to be grateful. So for me, being grateful is accepting what we have, knowing that what we have is enough, thanking ourselves. And when we take the time to be grateful, we really do cultivate this self-love, and we can not just take that for our own well-being, but we can give that out to others. And then, it just becomes this big circular effect where we are surrounded by people full of love. I'm not saying that stress isn't going to happen. It's not going to be there. Yeah, it's life. It's going to happen. But it's how we respond to that. So by setting intentions and by tapping into gratitude, we can start to cultivate this sense of peace and joy and happiness in our daily lives. So right now, even as I look at my notes, I wrote down, stop multitasking. Right here, huge multitasker my whole life, and proud of it. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this and this and this all at the same time and get it all done. But when we're multitasking, we're not being present. So we're not giving that detail to whatever the situation is, whether it's to yourself, which is the most important. Maybe it's your children, your spouse, your partner, your work, whatever it is. You're not being completely focused. So you're not being in the present moment. So then how can you tune into yourself and start to cultivate this feeling of gratitude, which is what helps to bring on that joy, happiness, and peace. So if you're multitasking right now, scrolling through your phone or, doing whatever, watching TV, just stop. Take these few minutes for yourself, and let's continue to tap into gratitude and set some intentions. So another little topic that I wanted to talk about is being in the present moment. Why? Why do we not want to be in the present moment sometimes? I can tell you why. It's because it's uncomfortable. And sometimes we find out that we don't like what's happening inside of us. But that's the point. That's why we have to do it, because that's when those thoughts, feelings, and emotions come up, and we need to learn how to respond. I don't want to use the word react, because for me, the word react, that spins a little bit of a negative tone. So I want you to think about how you respond to these situations. So when you're feeling uncomfortable, it's usually because your mind starts to go, down the rabbit hole, thinking of all the things, all the anxieties come up. You start to regret. You start to think about the past. You start to worry about the future. Again, we've left the present moment. I'm not saying you can't reflect, and I'm not saying you can't dream, but reflect and dreaming is different than regret and worrying. So you need to make sure that you take those two things and you make that clear. So getting back to the present moment. We attach ourselves to these feelings by creating stories around them. I know I do. We all do. Especially, we do the shoulda, coulda, wouldas with the regrets. And when it comes to the future and the things that are happening, we create all these stories. Well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is control what's happening right now in this second. And the control part is how you respond to those thoughts, feelings, emotions. And the way you will respond will become a more grateful response, a more happy response, joyful response, the more you practice it. It's practice. That's what has to happen. So I want you to give yourself the permission to be present. Continue to be present with you right now. Again, thank you for all of you that are out there watching. We'll only be on here for a short time tonight, kicking off this Tap into Gratitude virtual retreat. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everything to launch this weekend. So remind yourself that, you have survived 100% of your worst moments. You're here. You're here in this moment. So all the worst things that you worry about, you've survived. So you've done it. You don't have to worry about that anymore, because you've already done it. You're already a survivor. So let's keep working on building our intentions now, and how we can take our intentions to continue to make ourselves grateful. So when you're feeling scattered, or you're judging yourself, or you're judging other people, remember that you've lost the present moment. So you need to bring yourself back. And let me just look here past where we're going into for the weekend. So when you Google setting intentions, this is what comes up. I thought it was actually really good. The act of stating what you intend to accomplish through your actions. That's what setting intentions are. So it's a commitment to what you want the journey to be about, and what you want to move on or move up to. When you are intentional about something, you're focused on the moment. So we're right back to being in that present moment. And that might be for setting an intention for who you are, or what you do, or why you do it. So that's what we're going to talk about, being mindful with our intention, and how these intentions are really just that seed that we're going to plant that's really going to help create the future that we dream about. Not that we worry about, remember, that we dream about. So gratitude. How do we create this gratitude, and what do we want our intention to be? You can start off, when you set intentions, really small. Maybe your intention for the weekend is just to try all the classes, log in on the launch times. Maybe it is that you're just going to do some here and there, whatever it may be. Maybe you have something more deep rooted into your soul that you really are wanting to work for. So take a moment, and I want you to think about what you want your intention to be. It doesn't even have to be related to gratitude, even though that's the theme for the weekend. It might be something completely different. If you can't think of something right now, that's fine. You can always come back to this later. And your intention might change. What you think about tonight, you might get up in the morning and you've had time to think about it, and you might want to change that intention. When it comes to tapping into gratitude, remember, it starts within. And as you cultivate this gratitude, this acceptance, this thanking for yourself, when you start to really feel it and really believe it, all the people around you will feel it too. And they will start to share that gratitude with you. And then the love and joy and happiness that comes out of that, I'm just telling you, it is beautiful. And you'll notice those that surround you that are still set in this mindset of maybe insecurity, or they're unhappy, or judgment. For me, it bothered me for a long time, because I felt like I needed to fix it for everyone. And it's not selfish to know that you just need to start with yourself, because when you start with yourself, you'll really realize that your happiness will help others that surround you. And when they're ready, it'll happen for them too. But we're all on different stages. So gratitude, accepting, not in a way that means you have to settle, in a way that you are finding everything. I think there's a quote out there. Gratitude is accepting all the things that you have and knowing that that is enough. You can still have goals, you can still strive for all these things, but you don't have to always think that what you have isn't good enough. It is. You are good enough. Sorry about my little friend howling in the background. You are good enough. You are amazing. And you deserve to have happiness in your life. So starting off slow, take your gratitude practice just by even saying thank you to yourself, thank you to others. If you have a gratitude journal, maybe writing down some things that you are grateful for. I encourage you tonight, whether you have a practice or not, to take a few moments to journal, whether it's reflecting after this live, or it's before you go to bed, or whenever you're viewing this, to just jot down whatever you're feeling. Don't worry about it. Don't judge it. Maybe it's not what you thought was going to be written down. Just whatever you can, write that down. And then tomorrow we are going to be starting this amazing weekend full of mindfulness, movement, and meditation. So there are so many things lined up for you. Some of the classes are completely free. So whether or not you are a Strong with Nature Yoga member, you can participate in all of the mindful classes, as well as a class on essential oils for yogis. If you want to take part in the movement classes with myself, Strong with Nature Yoga is where you will find our online platform, so strongwithnatureyoga.com, and you can sign up for 30 days of yoga and take part in all of our movement practices. So we will be kicking it off again in the morning by tapping into gratitude with myself and my husband, Aiden, and just sharing a little bit more about our gratitude practice, where we're going to go from that. And then your movement practices will start from there. And you can feel free to tune into them at any time. Hopefully you can join us for as many of the classes this weekend, and we'll be wrapping it up on Sunday. And yeah, that's kind of how it's going to work. I'm so excited for all of you that are out there joining me on this journey. If at any time throughout this practice for the weekend, this retreat, you need to contact me, ask me questions, or you're having any troubles with technology, hopefully we can get that all sorted out for you. I want to send you so much love and so much gratitude right from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for all of you. I love all of you. I feel like I can see your souls and feel your energy through the screen. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And let's continue all weekend and for the rest of 2020 and beyond that, tapping into gratitude. Love you all. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me.